40.
The 2 Degrees mission to make life in this long, white, cloudy land of ours fairer and even more amazing than ever before continues! Now we can all have a good old-fashioned chinwag without getting a second, third or fourth mortgage. And if we don't use up our plan minutes each month, we get to keep them for up to a year. We don't lose them. Farm those minutes.
Well, that's a rather elaborate ad for 2 Degrees that rattles on for about a minute. To talk about ads, social media and aeroplanes, it is Vaughn Davis from tgf.co.nz. Welcome back, Vaughn.
Thank you.
Yeah, quite a novel.
An epic 60-second ad. But interestingly, while Telecom and Vodafone were, fighting over the scraps and, operationally separating themselves, 2 Degrees was beavering away and has almost 1 million customers.
Mm-hmm.
Who knew? And this ad is just big, bold, audacious, and it's one of those because we can.
Yeah, it's not
it's
actually.
Like, hey, bitches, we've got a lot of money in our war chest, so we're going to do a big ad.
It's not selling a particular product from 2 Degrees. It's just saying, hey, we've reached here, and it does insinuate that they have big plans around the corner.
Yeah, it does. It's basically saying, we are a player. Take us seriously. We're announcing that we've got a lot of numbers, and that doesn't matter to consumers, but it does matter to businesses.
Yeah.
So that might be an indicator of where they go. They're all doing a bit of small business stuff anyway. And this could be sort of building legitimacy for the business. And
Rhys Darby's contract has obviously been renewed for 2 Degrees.
Yeah, it has. Unlike that of the marketing director guy called Larry Moore, who was the launch marketing director for 2 Degrees, he's decided to pull the pin. I was reading this morning, and he's leaving the company. And I need to find out more, because he says in it that he chose Rhys Darby, which is interesting. So usually that would be the advertising agency,
but also
TBWA in this case.
They're looking for a new comms manager as well.
Yeah, well, hey.
Plenty of jobs going at 2 Degrees. Right
yeah,
now.
you must like giant logos. Interesting, though, in the messaging of the ad, the whole idea of 2 Degrees has shifted, because remember originally the whole 2 Degrees thing was, New Zealand, we're a small country, we're all 2 degrees away from everybody, not 6 degrees.
Yeah.
And now they're saying it's our mission to make everything 2 degrees better. So,
yeah, right. Okay.
It's they're going to go, which means better than the incumbent. So they're going to go head to head.
And their mission, of course, is not to turn into one of the big boys as well, which is because Vodafone used to be the new kid on the block, and then they turned into a telecom.
Yeah. I mean, you are defined by your competition a lot of times in that sector. But another, a great ad to watch, and strong performance by Rhys, and directed again by a guy called Steve Susi, who's very, very clever. New Zealand commercials director.
And now a message from Ted Williams.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Ted Williams. Last year I received a lot of love from people who really helped out. That's why this Valentine's Day I'd like to do something a little different and give back the best way I know how. From February 12th through the 14th, do something extra special for that certain someone. Tell them you care by having me tell them for you. Tweet 140 characters straight from the heart. Tag it with Voice of Love, and I'll read the best ones out loud, like this. At Tweedledee 137, you are the toppings to my froyo. Just keep on being you.
Ah, the voice of gold.
You just love that, don't you? Because you're looking ahead. You're waiting for that.
Yeah,
you're waiting for that time when you go off the rails and get. Live in a dumpster and get discovered by the side of the road and restart your broadcasting career. You haven't even started it properly.
I need to be gifted with the voice first.
You need to be gifted with the voice.
So just to refresh, that was Ted Williams' video went viral. Of course, when he was discovered on the side of the road, he was saying,
rediscovered. I mean, it's not like he was a nobody. He was a a voice artist and a radio host, and he got given a second chance. And it's been rocky. He's been in our rehab over the last year or so. But Kraft mac and cheese, for people who need their macaroni cheese out of a packet, have used them to voice this campaign. But we're just saying, not as successful as you might have thought.
Very surprised. The video went up on YouTube on the 10th, and of course it was only useful up until Valentine's Day, and it only has 13,000 views.
Yeah, so I mean, I could put my kitten on YouTube and get more than that. Yeah. But pretty sweet idea. Maybe it was a bit close to the Old Spice stuff. Give us a suggestion and we'll do it live online. Don't know. We'll find out more about that.
Not as successful as Pinterest.
Yeah, or Pin short for Pinafore. The Karen Network, giggle. supposedly, depending on which figures you listen to, between 83 and 97% of the members of this new visually based sharing network are women, which has really got the interest of people like me, the advertisers, because we're all about targeting and marketing and extracting every dollar.
Now, who's the cook at the well-loved female chef?
The well-loved female chef.
You know,
sounds like
she was
how many syllables?
She was locked up at one point.
Oh, Martha Stewart.
Martha Stewart. Apparently, it was her. It's all down to her. She mentioned it at some point on her show,
and it went off.
Yeah,
but interestingly, it was invented by 3 men. So sort of cynically, how can we get them on there? I've analysed it, and Pinterest, 13 million users so far. So the growth is explosive, but the numbers themselves aren't big. But 10% kittens, 40% cake. Some of the cakes are in the shape of kittens. 20% shoes. Have I got my numbers right? And 20%. And here's a word you hear first for the first time. 20% naphorisms. And an aphorism is a motivational saying that just sucks.
Yeah.
And if you want to see those, go to Pinterest. But the people who are into it and on it are absolutely rabid about it. It's not about creation, it's more of a curation site. So it's about, I saw this cool thing and here it is. So I'm going to collect, my 10 favourite pictures of bridges, or my 10 favourite websites about kittens or whatever, and put them on a board, and you may share them, repin them, and circulate them yourself. So not a lot of creation going along, but a hell of a lot of curation.
Right.
But which reflects actually how we use social media. The great majority of us don't create the stuff because that's just not who we are. We look at it, we go, hey, that's cool, and we show it to our friends and be useful in that way.
It's the new perhaps Tumblr.
Yeah, except the interface is just cute as hell.
Yeah.
And we all know what a notice board is, and lots of little micro touches like the progress bars, little spinning push pin, and bits and pieces like that. It's cute. It'll we're just waiting for the dirty evil marketers to go. I smell female blood.
Yeah, indeed. Moving on to aeroplanes.
Yeah,
no female blood on this clip that we're showing on the video stream right now. Some kind of home built copter thingy.
Yeah, this is if you're familiar with the maker culture, which is I was at a thing called Foo Camp at the weekend. There's a bunch of makers there, and makers are all about making, bringing physical form to their ideas. This is a German helicopter called the e-volo. If you look up e-volo.com, and they've turned around the idea of helicopter design. Helicopters is normally about one big rotor that's articulated and has got one big engine, and that's how you steer the thing. This thing's got 16 little rotors and 16 little batteries and one computer controlling the whole thing, or probably
and it's noisy as hell.
That's good radio.
Yeah.
But it's mad as a hat. It's the undercarriage is made from a Swiss ball, so the thing settles to earth on the Swiss ball. I was thinking if it was New Zealand, it'd be a moon hopper. You'd sort of bounce your way along until you had enough power.
Yeah.
But this is pretty cool stuff, and it's only limited by it's basically that little 4-rotor helicopter that we saw last week.
Yeah.
Someone went, we could scale that shit up.
Yeah.
And they did. And there's some interesting concept designs of sort of think, well, how can this become practical?
Well, come on, it's marginally less useful than a microlight.
Well, I think it's more useful. You don't need a long paddock. You can just put it. You could do it in your backyard, which is kind of cute. It's got 16 engines, so apparently if up to 4 of them fail, you're still okay.
Would you need a license?
Yeah, you would. You need the same sort of license as you do to fly a microlight in New Zealand, which is not quite the same as a full pilot's license, but it's somewhere in between.
Talking about microlights, it's been a while since we've seen a microlight crash in the news, eh? Have
you got one stashed away?
We used to have those all the time.
Yeah, they used to have them very frequently. So.
Yeah. Hear about that? Yeah. Maybe they've become safer, more reliable.
Maybe they have. Maybe the weather's been so bad they haven't been up. Is more the point. But the e-volo, I thought it was pretty cool.
Okay.
And I hate to say this as a Kiwi, but I think it's got more of a future than the Martin jetpack.
And it's certainly got that number 8 wire kind of mentality, except it comes from Germany. So It's not unique to New Zealand after all.
No, it's really not.
Thanks very much, Vaughn.
You're welcome.
TGF.co.nz is where you'll find this as a video once more as well.